Just dealing with some things up here in the press box before the live stream starts. Safety team's looking over the track. So bear with us. We'll be with everybody shortly.
All right, so
can you hear us in the pits?
Whoever has style, DJ. Yeah.
Good afternoon, Lake Erie Speedway. Thank you very much for joining us for the Great Lakes ProAm Series Round 3. We've got some real nice cars out here today. We got some beautiful weather, and we're excited to be here with all of you.
Pretty excited for this Great Lakes ProAm Series Round 3. Out here at Lake Erie Speedway, driven by Pro Waste. Top 32 comp. We've had some setbacks with some competitors in practice and even getting here, but it's going to be a good round. We got a lot of heavy hitters here, and the bank's coming alive here, and the layout's awesome. I think we ran this layout back in 2018, I believe so. Round 3, it's actually a $7,500 purse. First place pays $3,750. Second's $1,500. Third's $1,000. Fourth is $750. Fifth is $500. And the top qualifier, which is coming up here in a few short minutes, will get $500 as a bonus, plus another $100 from Nathan Sell Photography. So $600 total bonus for the top qualifier, which is amazing. Maybe a set of tires they could buy. Maybe. It looks like we're getting ready to send the first car out here to the burnout box, which is located just, I guess that would be northeast of the press box and the grandstands by the Drift Pony Arch, and that's Dan Malfazio from Slatington, PA.
So Dan's a driver that's been driving here for multiple years now. Very consistent driver. He's going to be here in his BMW E36, which is LS powered. He's got a 5.3 liter in that car. His sponsors are Fuel Suspension, Marciano's Pizza, and Cleaver Diesel Performance. We're excited to see what kind of laps he's going to put down today, as he's a very consistent driver and usually does very well out here. So just briefly to give everyone an idea for what the judges are using for judging criteria, it's based off of line, angle, style, commitment, fluidity, and so on and so forth. So these are kind of the things that they are going to go ahead and base their point system off of.
Each driver is going to get 2 non-consecutive runs, and the first run for Dan is coming up as soon as they send him here. I think they got the go-ahead from the tower, so he's going to go in pretty hot there going into outer zone 1.
Very exciting to see how these cars are going to do on these runs. Very fast layout that we have here today. And here he goes into the first corner. Laying it pretty wide there in the first corner. Really holding his line really well. Into the second corner, just scraping the outside edge. Let's see how he drags it out here. Very good job of maintaining a very good line. Very consistent line. Really hitting all the clipping points here. Let's see the front. Perfect. Perfect job. Really stretching it out in the outside corner here. Lots of tire smoke. Lots of speed. Looking real good out there. Awesome run from Daniel Malfazio. Very good run.
Let's see what the judges say on the first qualifying run. I think really the only thing might have been outer zone 2, where we went a little bit over there, but we'll see what they have to say.
Yeah, I'd say other than that part, I mean, I'd say it was a really really good run from Daniel Malfazio there. Really good run.
Actually going, Andrew Sharkey is up next from Barrie, Ontario. He's actually sitting second in points. They will actually have, if you'll notice right by the Budweiser sign, the Coca-Cola sign is the 1, 2, 3 cone, 3 cones to initiate into outer zone 1. So Sharkey has been right up on that wall pretty much all the practices. And Dan Malfazio with an 81 on his first run. 81 for Dan Malfazio.
So Andrew Sharkey is going to be driving a 1999 Chevy Corvette with a LS7. Sponsors are FDF, Fab Mac, Drift HQ, and Advan Wheels. Sharkey comes all the way from Canada to come join us, and you know, really cool that these drivers are making the commitment to come, you know, different states, even out of the country, to come and have some fun here at the Great Lakes ProAm Series. You know, driving all the way out here to Lake Erie Speedway to impress all of us. So let's see how he does on his run. Listen to that Corvette.
So much
Here he is
power.
in outer zone 1, dragging the wall. Holy Toledo. Looking real good out there. Let's see how he goes into the touch and go here. Looks real good in the touch and go. Lots of tire smoke, lots of angle. Coming into outer zone 2, really stretching it out. Looking like he hit the whole outer zone. Very, very nice.
This is a great run by Sharkey. Hit that front clip.
Very good in the front clip.
A little high going into outer zone 3. But he filled out the zone pretty well.
It really is incredible to hear how loud that car is, even from up here in the grandstands. I mean, that thing is just an absolute animal, that Corvette.
Great run by Sharkey. And that was his first qualifying run. And next up is Fred Maybach, who's third in points right now, from Silver Creek, New York.
So Fred's kind of a local here. You know, we've all driven with Fred. Really good driver, very consistent driver, and you know, this is Fred's home track. So you know, he knows it like the back of his hand. He knows the conditions. He can set the car up properly for it. But as we kind of discussed in round 2, the conditions are always changing. The layout's never the same. The weather's never the same. You know, tires aren't always as consistent as you'd like them to be with manufacturing. So, you know, you always have to make those little adjustments. But generally speaking, he really does have this car dialed in. So I'm excited to see what kind of qualifying run he's going to put down for us here today.
Andrew Sharkey with an 86. Right now, that puts him in first place in qualifying. 86 for Andrew Sharkey.
Looks like we got the okay from the grandstands, and here he goes, Fred Maybach. Fred Maybach doing real good in outer zone 1 here, really stretching it out.
Definitely filled
On that
all
wall.
the way out.
See how he goes to the touch and go.
Perfect.
Very good in the touch and go. Coming into outer zone 2 now, stretches it out, hits outer zone 2 perfectly. Let's see how he hits his front clip.
Looks like he might have just straightened just a tad there in the outer zone 2, but not fully. I don't think he lost drift, but that's up to the judges. And
Looking real good outer zone 3.
filled out outer zone 3. Very nice.
Real good outer zone 3 there.
Nice job to Fred Maybach.
Fred Maybach is driving a BMW M3 with a S50, a turbo S50. His sponsors are Fredworks, BC Racing, TC Tuned, FDF Fab, and Kanzi Wheels.
This is round 3 of the Great Lakes ProAm Series. FD supported, Formula Drift supported. Top 3 drivers in points will receive a Pro Spec license, and the top 5 in the series will be competing for $5,500 in point fund money. So right now the top 3 are Dan Malfazio, Andrew Sharkey, and Fred Maybach in the season points before this round. So
Fred Maybach is going to score a 84. 84 for Fred Maybach's run. Very good run by Fred. Up next, we got Elliot Rose with a Scion FRS, LS powered. Sponsors are Tire Streets from Canton, Ohio.
actually pretty crazy, where these drivers come from, to support
it certainly
this.
is. Alrighty, here he goes to the touch and go. Just a little too shallow there. Going into outer zone 2, stresses it out. Looks like he does a good job committing to outer zone 2 there. So he comes to the front clipping zone. Very nice in the front clipping zone 1. Into outer zone 3. Let's see him stretch it out there. Looks real good in outer zone 3. So let's see how the judges, what they think about his run there. I'd say that was a pretty solid run from Elliot Rose.
Yeah, I mean, you know, outer zone 1, for the most part, he was in it the whole time, and touch and go here was a little shallow, like you said.
Next on track, we have Casey Rodriguez, and we're just waiting for the judges to come up with a score for Elliot Rose.
Casey Rodriguez from Fremont, Ohio.
He's going to be here with a Nissan 350 LS powered car. And the judges have come up with a score for Elliot Rose. Elliot Rose with a 78. Elliot Rose with a 78.
Actually, Casey had some issues last night at practice. His transmission stuck in third gear. I believe they drove all the way to Pittsburgh for another transmission through the night and got it in this morning before practice.
That is great to hear. Glad he's back. Let's see how he does. Real strong start here in outer zone 1. Really on that wall. Lots of angle, lots of tire speed, lots of smoke.
Touch and go. Do the touch and go.
Looks good in the touch and go. He's stretching it out to outer zone 2. Let's see how he rides it out. Wow. Really rides out outer zone 2. Fills it out real well. Front clipping point 1, very good. And into outer zone 3. Let's see how he does. Wow, lots of angle.
Pretty much filled out the whole outer zone 3.
I'd say so. I definitely agree with you there. Yeah, Casey Rodriguez with a really solid run there. Glad to hear he was able to the source of CD09 last night. You know, I saw a bunch of people posting that he was looking for it. You know, gotta help the homies out. Gotta share the post. Gotta try to, you know, source those parts. That way we get out here and compete.
It could be wrong, but I think it might have been Brian Bubash who's in the competition who actually had one. That's where he got it. So could be wrong on that, but I'm pretty sure that's where it came from.
Alrighty, next up on track, we've got another Corvette driven by Aaron Spiegel, LS3 powered. Resolute Vinyl is his sponsor, and he's here from Bowling Green, Ohio. Excited to see what kind of run he puts down. You know, as we've been discussing, the Corvettes really do seem to be becoming the new 240s. You know, people are buying them. They already have the power. Rear ends are good. The trannies are good. They're putting angle kits on them, and I mean, they seem to be fantastic cars. You know, people are driving really well with these Corvettes out here.
Casey Rodriguez, his first run was a 76. 76 for Casey Rodriguez.
And here we go with Aaron Spiegel into outer zone 1. Flicks it pretty hard in outer zone 1 here, stretching it out, looking real good in outer zone 1. Drops down for the touch and go here.
Ducked a little bit in outer zone 1. I don't know if he filled that out very well, but like I said, it's his first run.
Right. First run, everyone's getting the car dialed in. Lots of tire smoke coming in at outer zone 2. Hits the front clipping point really well. And outer zone 3, let's see how he carries it out. Real well.
Yeah.
Wow.
The angle coming out outer
Holy
zone 3.
Toledo.
Definitely got that one compared to outer zone 1, I think. So.
I'd say so, especially at the end there. I mean, it looked like he was at full lock.
It's pretty crazy coming into the front clipping point, how much speed they got going down through there into outer zone 3. It's probably the fastest part on the track.
I'd say so. I really love this layout because it's lots of high speed. You know, it gives the guys a lot of chance to throw, you know, a lot of angle to slow themselves down a little bit and, you know, kind of carry throughout the track.
And as we're waiting for Aaron Spiegel's score here for his first run, you know, a little thank you here to Boosted Bulbs, 30% off for each winner of each round. Tire Stacks, it gives away first, second, third place prizes. Aaron Spiegel with an 80. Aaron Spiegel with an 80 for his first run. So $250 for first, second, and third each. $100 for Tire Stacks. And then the top 3 in points get a Link Pro Spec ECU to move on to the Pro Spec.
Next up on track, we've got Kevin Madden and LS Power 240. Throwing it real hard into outer zone 1. Really, really close to that wall. Holy.
He definitely filled out outer zone 1.
Wow, that was impressive.
Straight from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. He definitely filled that one out.
I'd say so.
Hit the touch and go and coming into outer zone 2. See if he can fill all these zones out. And he did the same thing there.
Wow, really, really good run so far.
This is this run kind of reminds me back to round 2 when Mike Steele took the course, the layout here. So we'll see what the judges have to say.
I'm really excited to see what the judges say.
Kevin is pumped.
Yeah, hand out the
hand
window
out the
there.
Window pumped.
Love to see it. That was a great run. He has a lot to be excited about. Really good run. Excited to see what the judges are going to give him for that run there. So as we discussed, the way the judges are coming up with their score, it's based off of line, angle, style, commitment, fluidity. So they have quite a bit that they have to base their scores off of. It's not really as easy as everyone would think to come up with a solid score for these guys. There's a lot of different variables. There's a lot of different things they have to think about. They have to discuss amongst themselves. They feel like what they are scoring is fair, and so far they've been doing a tremendous job. They've been doing very, very good.
And Kevin Madden with a 94.
Wow,
on
very
that first
good.
run.
Awesome score.
Kevin Madden with a 94. 94.
Next up on track, we've got Tom Perner in a Ford Mustang. And Tom is another driver that's very consistent, very, very good driver. Usually lays down very good laps out here at Lake Erie Speedway, whether it's, us doing the grassroots driving or competitive driving. So I'm excited to see what he puts out here. Usually puts on a good show for everyone. Flicking it pretty hard into outer zone 1 there.
I lost the angle on outer zone 1 there. Tom into the touch and go pretty well. It's from Jackson, Michigan.
Looks like he fills in outer zone 2 pretty well. He's coming into the front clipping zone 1 now. Very good job with that. Let's see how he does in outer zone 3 here. Oh, eats a couple cones up.
A little high in outer zone 3. I don't know how the judges will feel about that. Earlier, the drivers went for a layout, walk on the track. So they're trying to see what the judges wanted, and so we'll see what they say about that. So we have next up Kevin Ferraro from New Canton, Ohio. He was actually top qualifier in round 1.
So Kevin Ferraro is driving a E36 328IS M50 turbo.
76 for Tom Perner on his first run. 76.
So Kevin Ferraro was here for round 1. He was one of our top qualifiers, and now, unfortunately missed round 2, but he is here for round 3. So we're excited to see what he could do here today on the track. And he's off. Let's see how he does in outer zone 1. A little low in outer zone 1. Brings it back up a little bit. Here he goes into the touch and go. Does a really good job in the touch and go. Gets pretty deep in touch and go right there. And then he stretches it out for outer zone 2. Looks like he rides outer zone 2 really well. Here he goes into front clipping zone 1. Very good job with that. And then out into the final zone, which is outer zone 3.
Washed up a little bit there going in the outer zone 3, but still really good run by Kevin.
Yeah, I'd say that was a really clean run, especially, he did miss round 2, so, getting back into it and, shaking off the cobwebs and stuff and getting the car ready. So that was a really good run from him.
All right.
Next up on track, we've got Jacob Lobenstein in a LS Powered 240SX, sponsored by LA Performance, Phoenix Industries, Tire Streets, and Capital Region Customs. He's joining us from Gloversville, New York.
Jake.
Really love the paint on that car. Not sure if that's paint
Kevin
or wrap, but I do love the
Ferraro
color.
had an 80 first run, 80 to Kevin, and Jake has been battling car demons all season long. He first 2 rounds didn't treat him very fair, so.
Hopefully his luck is better for round 3. Let's see how he does. Flicks it pretty hard there in outer zone 1. Really on the wall. Drops down a little bit. Here he comes into the touch and go. Okay, gets it pretty deep there in the touch and go. Lots of angle, lots of tire smoke. He's coming into outer zone 2 now. Looks like he's stretching out pretty good in outer zone 2. Here he comes in the front clipping point there. Does a really good job hitting that front clipping point. And into outer zone 3. Doing a real good job keeping it consistent in outer zone 3. Doesn't hit any cones. I'd say that was a real clean run.
Real clean run.
Great job, great job.
I'm sure he's happy with that because the first 2 rounds, I have a feeling there were some zeros there in his runs, and I think he's beyond that right now. So
excited to see what the judges come up with for a score. Hopefully something kind of put a smile on his face. Especially it can be real stressful when you're cars in general are stressful. So I mean, when you got to deal with all this stuff, especially when you're on a competitive level, it just adds to the stress a little bit. So hopefully we get a good score and we can continue throughout the day without any problems. Next up on track, we've got Xander Nappy and a BMW M3, 2JZ powered.
Jacob Lobenstein with a 79 in his first run. Xander is from Syracuse, New York, sponsored by Stage Wheels.
A little shallow on outer zone 1 there, coming into the touch and go. Really fills it out in the touch and go. That was a great job getting it out there for touch and go. And we're coming into outer zone 2. Looks like he does a real good job getting into outer zone 2. Missing a little bit of angle there. Looks like he might be having a little bit of car trouble. And then outer zone 3. Let's see how he stretches it out. Looks like he did a pretty good job there in outer zone 3.
He filled it out pretty nice, and I'd probably say he's probably got, compared to other people in the competition, he might be a little less horsepower than everybody else. But he's out here having fun, and that's one thing that always matters. And next up, we got Brian Bubash from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. We were supposed to have Paul Swy out, but he unfortunately hit the outer zone 1 wall during practice. I think the front end suspension's pretty well shot. Xander Nappy with a 71 for his first run. And like we were saying earlier, we had some people with some car troubles on their way out here. We've had some people with car issues. Josh Leatherbarrow with car issues last night during practice. You know, so there's been some issues for some guys. So we'll Brian Bubash going into outer zone 1 here.
Stretching out real well in outer zone 1. Looks like he's really filling in the whole outer zone there. Let's see how he comes down to the touch and go. Does a great job in the touch and go. Really, you know, wow, that car sounds awesome. Doing real well on track. Let's see how it goes into outer zone 2. Lots of tire smoke coming from that 240.
I believe this is LS swapped 240, correct?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. LS swap 240.
Washed out a little bit there in outer zone 3.
Looks like he might have straightened out there. I'm not too sure.
I don't know how the judges are going to judge this one, but might be a 0 here for Bubash.
Unfortunately, maybe a 0 run. And, you know, it's hard because, you know, it's not the easiest thing to stay consistent throughout. You know, there's a lot of pressure. There's you know, a lot of factors. And to be consistent throughout the whole competition is extremely hard to do. And we can't stress that enough. You know, these guys that are coming out here and, you know, giving it 120% every time they come out, it's not easy. It really is not. You know, it's certainly an art in itself to come out here and perform and do really well every time you come out and drive. Next up on track, we've got Troy Manners. He's driving a... It's looking like a real nice S14. I love the livery on the side of that car.
Brian Bubash with a 0 on the first run. I believe it's because he had 3 tires off in outer zone 3. So he had a good run going, but washed out a little bit there in outer zone 3. Troy Manners coming here from Punxsutawney, Pennsylvania in an S14. Pretty local to us. He's coming from the middle of the state. Wow. A little shallow there in outer zone 1. Coming into the touch and go and did just what he needed to do there. But look at that power.
So we don't have in our notes here. We don't have what kind of engines in this car, but I think we could assume from what we're hearing up here. Holy moly, is he going fast? I'd have to assume it's some kind of JZ powered car. That thing sounds nutty. I cannot believe how fast he just went around that course. If this was based off of how fast you get around the course, he would have won tenfold. Holy Toledo. That thing is fast.
Yeah, maybe somebody over there as he's coming off, we can get what type of engine he's running in that car because that was impressive.
Next up on track, we've got Matt Moncallian with a VQ-powered Nissan 350Z. Very excited to see what Matt puts down here. I've done a couple tandems myself with Matt, and he's a very consistent driver. He's got a very, very nice car, and his sponsors are PT Customs, Fedco Speed, and Enjoy the Machine. Real excited to see what kind of run he puts down here. I just want to add, you know, this is probably one of the lower horsepower cars out here today. So, you know, it'll be exciting to see the difference in driving with these guys that have lower horsepower cars compared to these guys that are coming out here with
Troy Manners
700 horsepower cars.
Score is up with an 82 for Troy Manners.
Looks like we got the okay from the box to send Matt Moncallian and his 350Z here. So Matt Moncallian's a grassroots driver with us here. Drives with Life Ruiner. In outer zone 1, having a little bit of trouble getting it up there on the wall. Let's see, he comes down into touch and go. Stretches it out pretty good there. Here he comes into outer zone 2. Looks like he does a real good job getting the car up there in outer zone 2.
Build out outer zone 2 there.
Great job on front clipping point. And into outer zone 3. Let's see how he does. Looking like he's real consistent there in outer zone 3. So I'd say that was a really good run from Matt. Great job.
Actually pretty cool when they're going through the outer zones and they're looking out the driver's side of their car. You know, it's a pretty neat shot, I think. If the drone would catch that or photographers, it's a pretty cool shot.
It is definitely weird. You know, you think they're technically driving straight, but I mean they're looking out of the the driver's side window or the passenger side window to kind of get an idea for where they want to put the car. I mean, it is it's just weird to think about. You know, the whole point of drifting is to basically lose control and then keep control of the car. So it's certainly different than any other motorsport.
We're going to be coming up on second runs here. So first up, second run will be Dan Malfazio again from Slatington, Pennsylvania. Huge shout out to the Drift Pony Great Lakes ProAm Series staff. They're out there putting cones up from when people shoot them across the track. And Matt Moncallian with a 77 for his first run. And I want to say this might be Matt. This is Matt's first competition.
It is indeed, as far as I know. I'm not sure if he's competed anywhere else, but as far as being here for the Great Lakes Pro-Am Series, this is his first. That was his first competitive run, so I'd be pretty happy. You know, 77's a very respectable score, and I think when he gets a little warmed up and gets into it a bit more, I think we'll see that score go up and up and up. As you know, he is a very consistent driver.
And as we were doing thank yous here, thank you to the Lake Erie Speedway safety team and crew. They're first responders here in case something would ever happen to the drivers and Lake Erie Speedway staff, and also the media. I mean, we wouldn't get the names out of Drift Pony and the Great Lakes Pro-Am without their help. So we definitely thank you to the media.
And that's another thing, the media has really come a long way. We can't give them enough thanks. I remember when I first started drifting out here and the pictures would come out of your car, you'd be so excited and you thought they were great. But I mean, they just keep getting better and better and better. So keep it up, guys. You're doing really good out there. Spending tons of money on that equipment, producing great quality photos, great videos for us. We appreciate it, guys. Thank you.
I mean, on the same media point, Prop Productions with the live stream, they're doing a great job. The drone pilots, everybody behind the scenes, making this live stream happen and the series happen. Just great job by everybody involved.
You got to give a lot of respect to these guys. They're wearing these goggles, flying these drones around. I certainly could not do it. I really couldn't.
I'd be so sick.
Yes.
So sick.
Definitely.
I get sick riding passenger in a drift car, let alone goggles on my head.
I couldn't do it. Alrighty, it looks like we've got Daniel Malfazio back out on track in his E36, LS powered. Did real good for his first run. Excited to see what he does for his second run here. And out in the back there, you can see Andrew Sharkey in the burnout box. Here he comes into outer zone 1. Really stretching out outer zone 1 there. Playing chicken with the wall, looks like. Let's see, here comes into touch and go.
I don't know if you hit that. Yeah, I don't know if you hit that touch and go.
Not too sure. The judges might have to rewatch the replay for that one. Gets it out into outer zone 2, looking real good. Into the first front clip. Very good job hitting first front clip, and then out into outer zone 3. Carrying a lot of speed. I mean, I don't know if these guys are going faster every run or what, but I mean, looks like he's going real fast.
I think for the most part, he filled out all the zones. Zone 1 might have been the only one, but everything else is pretty good.
I think the touch and go will be the main issue with that run.
And the touch and go, yeah.
So for the touch and go, how that works is you really just have to get your rear tires into that. That makes sense why they call it a touch and go, but really it doesn't really matter what your depth is into the touch and go itself. That's more so important for the outer zones here. So, you know, just for that touch and go, really the key is just to kind of scrape the back tires over there. Next up on track, it looks like we've got Andrew Sharkey. And everyone's favorite Corvette.
Dan Malfazio, second run, 82. 1 point better than his first run, and I just got word that Brian Bubash lost power steering in his first run and is probably out for the competition.
Listen to that Corvette go. Holy, he is close to that outer zone 1 wall.
Oh,
wow. That's surprising. I don't think I've ever seen Andrew Sharkey spin out there, but I think he just carried a little bit too much angle trying to hit that touch and go there.
Unfortunately,
that will be a 0 for Andrew Sharkey's run. But he's still a good sport about it. Still going to put on a show for us coming into the... Something's got to be going on with that car. Something's got to be going on with that car. Hopefully he gets off and figures out what's going on and comes back out a little bit later.
Yeah, he's got a little bit of time before the opening ceremony is at 5 o'clock for the competition. And then after the competition, we're going to set up the track a little bit and have a jam session, you know, so everybody's going to jam it out afterwards. And we'll have fireworks around 9:30, so going to light up some fireworks on the back stretch.
Already, Fred Maybach into outer zone 1. Looks like he does a real good job dragging the car along that wall. Here he comes to the touch and go. Great job getting into that touch and go there. Into outer zone 2. Really stretching it out into outer zone 2. Looking real good there. Real consistent. Great job in front clipping point. And then into the final outer zone 3. Looking real good there.
Pretty good second run by Maybach here. A lot of angle coming out of outer zone 3.
Definitely a good amount of angle coming out of there. And, you know, like we said before, Fred Maybach, super consistent driver. Really fun to watch him drive because, I mean, I would love to do a tandem with him. He runs a very clean line every time he's out on the track.
Well, you're going to have your car out here for Fall Materi, right?
Of course. I'll be here. I wouldn't miss it for nothing.
Well, absolutely. You're one of the announcers for round 4, so hopefully you don't miss it.
Of course, I wouldn't miss it. Whether or not the car runs right, you know, we'll figure that out once we get out here. Hopefully I'll have it going.
Yeah, second run here. Up next is Elliot Rose from Canton, Ohio. You've been battling your own demons with your car over the past couple years.
Quite a few, yeah. I've been through quite a few engines, quite a few transmissions. I think a rear end or two. So, you know, we got a completely different build coming out for this year, and, you know, just trying to work out all the little gremlins, and we'll be out here to have some fun, that's for sure.
And second run for Maybach is an 86, so he did better himself by 2 points. We'll see how everything else shakes out here.
Elliot Rose with the Scion FRS, LS powered. Excited to see what he does for this run here. And here he goes. Carrying quite a bit of speed into outer zone 1. A little shallow in outer zone 1. We'd like to see it a little bit closer to the wall. Real good job with the touch and go. And out here into outer zone 2. Let's see how it looks. Great job getting the car up there in outer zone 2, it looks like. And then the front clipping point looking real good. Here he comes in outer zone 3. Really getting the car out there in outer zone 3. It's looking real good. Lots of angle towards the end there. Love to see it.
Elliot Rose sitting 4th in points, so coming into this round. So nice run by Elliot. We'll see what the judges have to say. He had a 78 the first run, so probably definitely looking to better that, so he gets a better seat. Next
up on track, we have Casey Rodriguez. You know, another one of the Yeet Fleet boys. We've got two of them out here. We got Tom Perner and Casey Rodriguez. You know, both real good, real consistent drivers. So excited to see what kind of laps these guys could throw down for us tonight.
Yeah, we typically have three. Oh, Elliot Rose with a 79, so he did better by a point from his first run. We usually have three people, three drivers from the Yeet Fleet, but Alan Boss is not with us today. So. So if you're just joining us, Casey Rodriguez had transmission issues last night in practice, changed out the transmission, and now he's running again. A lot of angle there, but he dropped out of outer zone 1 a little early. Can't tell from this angle, but I don't know if he hit outer zone 2 very.
It is a little hard to tell from this angle. Based off of what we're seeing on the drone here, it looks like he might have been a little shallow, but bringing it into outer zone 3, it looks like he does a great job. And
pretty much filled out the whole outer zone 3.
Yeah, I'd say he filled out the whole zone. Lots of tire smoke, lots of angle. And we just want to say to everyone out here, thank you for joining us today, and thank you for coming out, enjoying this beautiful weather, and enjoying all these talented drivers. If you guys get hungry, make sure you stop by the Rusty Wheel. They got great food over there, great prices, and friendly service. So you can't beat it. Stop by and grab yourself a drink, get some food, and sit back, enjoy, and watch the show.
Casey Rodriguez with a 71 on his first run or second run. So I think the outer zone 1 hurt him.
Next up on track, we've got Aaron Spiegel in a C5 Corvette, LS3 powered. Love the vinyl job that Resolute did on this car. It looks really, really good.
Yeah, right up there next to the wall and pretty much fills out outer zone 1. Might be a little bit off coming out of it, but right through the touch and go. See how he comes into outer zone 2. I think a lot of the drivers are having better success filling out outer zone 2 compared to the other two zones. Hit that front clip pretty nice, and definitely filled out outer zone 3 with a lot of angle coming out of it.
Wow, that is some aggressive angle coming out of outer zone 3 there. Lots of tire smoke, lots of speed. That was a great run.
I'm with you. I'm a fan of the Corvette.
Yeah,
I'm definitely a fan of the Corvette.
The Corvette, I think, is the up and coming. What the 240SXs used to be. I think they're gonna. I don't think they've seen drift tax yet, but I think they will very soon here, and they'll get more and more expensive. And people that are competitive or hobbyists in the drifting community will start acquiring a bunch of them and selling them for parts and stuff like that. The only thing I don't like about Corvettes is that they are fiberglass. Fiberglass scares me. I feel like it's just a disaster to do body work on. But that's just my my opinion.
You actually see Spiegel over there going through the water pit, cooling down his tires. So we put that in to try to help people out. And Aaron Spiegel with an 89 on his second run, and he bettered his first run by 9 points. Kevin Madden coming up with his second run here from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and he's going to try to better his 94 on his first run. See what he does here. Initiates by, and right up there by the wall.
Phenomenal
liking this layout here. So right into the touch and go.
I have to say, Kevin is super comfortable in that car. I mean, the way he drives it, you can tell where he wants the car is where the car ends up. He stretches it right out in that first outer zone here. Looking like he's going to do really well out here in outer zone 3. I don't know if you see it, AJ, but when he's coming into these outer zones with a lot of speed, his front tires are actually locking up. So I don't know if he has the brake bias set up like that in the car, and that's how he likes it to be. Doing a little donut there at the end.
Definitely loving it right now. He actually didn't notice that, but thank you for pointing that out. And he's having fun, I think. Hands out the window again, so he's definitely having fun. I know the first 2 rounds, I think he might not have been having all the fun in the world. You know, he didn't make it on as far or as deep into the competition as he would have liked. You know, so
I think he's definitely going to be happy with what the judges have to say about that run. You know, we're just waiting for the score to populate here on our screen, and I mean, I could imagine it's going to be similar to what they judged on his first. What was his first?
His first was a 94.
94. I mean, that's a great run. So we're excited to see what he gets for his second run here.
93.
93.
So 93 on his second run. So definitely 2 good scores, and I think on the season, I think Kevin probably has the second highest. I think Mike Steele last round had the highest ever qualifying run. You know, so definitely on the board there for that.
Next up on track, we got Tom Perner in his Ford Mustang. Let's see how he does. Flicking it pretty hard into outer zone 1. Looks like he's stretching out pretty good. Drops down a little early there into the touch and go. Hits the touch and go real well. Real good job with that. Carries it out into outer zone 2. Let's see how he does in there. Real good in outer zone 2.
Right along outer zone 2. Stayed in it the whole time. Front clip, near perfect, if not. And then looking like he's going to fill out outer zone 3 pretty almost till the end. Yep, with a bunch of angle and smoke. So. Now, why do you think his is running outer zone 1? He goes in a lot different than all the other drivers. Why do you think that is?
I think what it really comes down to is it's all preference. You know, everyone knows how their car feels, and everyone's going to have a different way of doing it. So, you know, you could do the traditional weight transfer, or some people like to call it Scandinavian flick. Some people rip the e-brake. Some people clutch kick it. You know, everyone's got their own method of how they want to get the car set for where they want it to be, so that way they could, you know, make the most out of it. And that comes down to how you have the suspension set up, you know, what kind of tires you're running, what kind of pressure you're at, and then just generally how you like to do it. You know, I enjoy doing I'm more of a Scandinavian flick kind of guy. My e-brake doesn't really work that well. So when I'm throwing it in, I just flick it real hard and let the car kind of take me where it needs to go.
Well, I mean, the approach worked pretty well for him because he upped his first run to an 82 on his second. So definitely a little bit higher and should help him get a better seat, I think.
Next up on track, we got Kevin Ferraro and an E36 328. And this is another one we're not too sure what engine he's got in here. We have 2JZ on our roster here, but I don't think it's a 2JZ. Looking real good at outer zone 1 there. Let's see how he does in the touch and go. Real good job hitting that touch and go, and as he stretches it out into outer zone 2 here, we'll see what kind of tire speed he picks up.
Yeah, well, watching the drone footage when you're watching these is pretty impressive.
It
but
certainly
again,
is.
Don't know how they do it. But he didn't really, I don't know if he filled out the front clip there, but I think he filled out all his zones rather well, so we'll see what the judges have to say.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with you there, AJ. I'd say he did a pretty good job filling out all the zones. The clipping point might have been, you know, what could determine what they're going to do with that score on that run. As we wait for that score to come back, we got Jacob Lobenstein back out with a Nissan 240SX LS-powered car. So you'll see, you know, we have such a plethora of different cars here, but a lot of them seem to be LS powered. And, you know, I think that's due to the fact that everyone's finding that, once you do very minor modifications, these engines are making very good power. They're very torquey, and you could pretty much get a fit kit anywhere for any of these cars, and just drop it in. I don't know if these people are running Hollies or what they're running, but I mean they seem to be doing really well. So and it's nice 'cause you go to a parts store and you could just get parts for these things.
Kevin Fierro with an 86 on his second run, bettered his first run of an 80, so that was definitely good for him.
Jacob Lobenstein really stretching it out outer zone 1 there. Doing a really good job. Consistent. Hits the touch and go. Let's see how he gets the car over to outer zone 2. Nice. Really stretching it out into outer zone 2 and into the front clipping point. Very good job. Outer zone 3 looking real good. Wow, lots of tire smoke, lots of it. Holy. Not sure what that will do for his run. We're gonna have to see what the judges come up with there. I'm not sure if it counts, past the cone or what, but we'll have to see what they come up with.
I think that double line, I mean,
Next up on track, we've got Xander Nappy, a BMW M3.
Jacob Lobenstein's second run with an 82, so he bettered his first run of a 79, so 82 for Lobenstein. Xander Nappy from Syracuse, New York. Let's see how he does on his second run. The first run was a 71. Second run, he's having a little tough time here. He didn't really fill out Arizona 1 or hit that touch and go, but he's kind of straight in there too on that. But he's might be a little underpowered, but he's out here competing, and that's one thing that matters.
And I think that is another point that we need to make. You don't need to make 600-700 horsepower to be competitive. I mean, if you get comfortable with your car and you know how to drive it, you can come out here with half the horsepower. And if the car is set up properly, you'd be surprised. You could keep up with these guys and drift. And that's the advantage having a well set up car. You could outperform a car that's making 600 or 700 horsepower if you have your car set up properly. Which may not make sense, but I mean, you got to think about it. You may make 700 horsepower in the dyno, but you're not putting all that power to the ground because the tires are spinning the whole time. So that's just another thing for everyone to keep in mind. Don't think you need to make these crazy numbers to be competitive in drifting.
Oh, absolutely not. I mean, it shows it, right? I mean, you can have all the horsepower in the world and still spin. I mean, it doesn't. Xander
Absolutely.
Nappy with a 65 on his second run, so a little bit lower than his first, but still, again, he's out here competing, you know, which I think people watching this live stream, a lot of the people who could have been competing are definitely missing out because this track's pretty impressive. And Troy Manners from Punxsutawney, Pennsylvania is on his second run.
So his first run was super fast. Here he comes into outer zone 1, just doing a great job staying up on that wall, coming out to the touch and go here. And once again, I gotta add, this car sounds unbelievable, absolutely unbelievable from up here in the booth. Outer zone 2 really stretching it out, making so much tire smoke. Does a great job with the front clipping zone 1, and out into outer zone 3, really stretching it out. Lots of smoke, doing an incredible job. Wow, that was a great run.
That is a 1JZ, we found out. And I think the only thing might have been outer zone 1, maybe not filling it all out. That might be bad in the judges' eyes, but we'll see what they have to say. But another great run by Troy, and we appreciate all these drivers coming out the round 3 here. You know, it's definitely our first year as a Pro-Am series, you know, but you know, it's the second year for competition at Lake Erie Speedway and Drift Pony and the Great Lakes Pro-Am series. And Troy Manners with an 88 on his second run. 88 on his second run. Unfortunately, like we had said before, we lost Brian Bubash, power steering issue on his first run.
Next up on track, we got Matt Moncallian with his VQ powered 350Z. And, you know, this comes back to what we said before. You know, you don't need a lot of power to be a great driver. If you know how to drive the car and you can put it where you want it to be. I mean, look at that. Right up on the wall, and he has half the horsepower. I mean, it really is incredible. Does a really good job with the touch and go there, and then he stretches it out to outer zone 2. Let's see how he could get that car out there. Does a really good job in outer zone 2. Staying real consistent.
Not a lot of angle, but he definitely went through the whole outer zone 2. And let's see how he fills out outer zone 3. Is he gonna get? Yeah, he filled it out pretty good there towards the middle to the end.
Yeah, does a pretty good job in the end there. I will say I do love delivery on that car. I mean, Joe Sansone did a great job with delivery on that car. It really does. It looks so good. Great job, Joe. And happy birthday, Joe Sansone.
Yeah, Joe is he's probably on his jet skis today. Him and Anna and Joey, and he's probably having some twisted teas and stuff on his birthday. So definitely a happy birthday to him.
I'm sure I'll hear about that later. That I sold my jet ski and I'm not out there with him, but we'll see you next time out of the water, Joe. Joe did a livery for my car as well, which came out really, really good. Unfortunately, I'm no longer running that livery, but he's certainly the guy to go to if you need to get some really cool, JDM type designs to put on the side of your car. Does a great job.
And Matt Moncallian with an 81. 81 bettering his first run. Yeah, it's the end of qualifying. Brian O'Connor. I'm AJ Moore. I'm the general manager of the Speedway, but Brian O'Connor's been with us for a few years now, and that's the end of qualifying.
Thank you very much for joining us, everyone, and we'll be back soon for competition. Looks like we are going to be doing comp practice 2:30 to 4:30, and then opening ceremony starts at 5. So we will see you guys at 5 o'clock.
Yeah, everybody in the stands here, you know, you can take a walk in the pit area here, get some food from the Rusty Wheel. Practice will start for the competition here at 2:30, give or take. Opening ceremonies for the competition will be at 5 o'clock, so we do have a little bit of time here at Lake Erie Speedway, driven by Pro Waste, so kind of wander around, get something to drink. You know, not bake in the sun here, but you know, bear with us here, and we'll be back at it here shortly on track.
Link is the engine management solution for champions the world over. We know what it takes to win. Pushing boundaries, performing under pressure, and having the best people on your team. Our tech support are performance specialists, available 24 hours and ready to talk one-on-one about your winning formula. Link ECU, the performance, reliability, and power to get to the podium.
I think the engine is going. Justin Paulin pops the engine. Osmo! Something in the foot, all ditto tire. Chelsea Denofa. Denofa gets the win. The Stampede! Oh! Woo! What is that?
And your overall champion of 2021, Frederick the Norwegian Hammer.
Hi, Pierre Wensek here. You've probably heard a lot about Link ECU and wonder
Link is the engine management solution for champions.